Well, it was slow, but the ending will get you. Hey, everybody. So I'm going to be doing my movie review for The Neon Demon, written and directed by Nicholas Winding Refn, and it stars Ellie Fanning, Jenna Malone, and Christina Hendricks, and has a cameo with Keanu Reeves. And for the most part, the story was slow. It was really slow. There's about 30 minutes they could have cut down to make the story a bit tighter. And but overall, I liked the movie. I liked the ending, but I wasn't emotionally involved in the characters. Now, Nicholas's last movie was Drive with Ryan Gosling. That was a really good movie. And the directing style and the musical choices, the lighting, the camera work, and his setups, like he likes hallways and things like that. That was he also likes wide shots and still frames. Those he does the same thing in both movies. However, the characters in Drive, you felt emotionally involved with. Like you wanted to root for them. You wanted to see one get killed, or you wanted things to happen with these characters. The only characters in the Neon Demon that I really had any kind of emotional connection to was Jenna Malone's character, who played Ruby. She was a makeup artist, and I thought she did a great job. Now, Ellie Fanning did a really good job for the character that she had. I just thought her character was very subdued, and we really didn't have any. We didn't really care what happened to her or any of the other models that were in the movie. At least that's for me. Just it didn't. I didn't feel like I cared what happened to them. So but the directing was great, and I love the cinematography, the way that they lit things. There's a lot of scenes where the light will change, or it will dim and come back depending on an emotional mood, and Nicholas is really great at that, changing the lighting during a scene, which a lot of directors don't change the lighting in a scene. They light it, and then they film it. So seeing the lights change for whatever emotion he's trying to portray without using any dialogue, I really like that style. It is a very artistic style of directing, and it can put some people off because there's little dialogue for those scenes, and then it can feel dragged out. But I'm gonna give it about a 7 out of 10 because the ending was good, and I did like the overall color scheme, the directing, how he set up his shots, and like I said, the lighting. I like all of the technicalities of how the movie was made. It's just the story was just okay, and I'll get into some of that in the spoilers. But the characters I felt were underdeveloped, and I wasn't really emotionally in tune with them. So I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 for that. And now to get into some spoilers. So this is major spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie and you're interested in seeing it, don't watch the rest of this video. Go watch the movie, come back, and then check out the rest of this. If you don't care or you've already seen the movie, here we go. Spoilers. Spoilers. So at the end of the movie, the Jenna Malone character, Ruby, the makeup artist, she's a bit crazy. She goes crazy and ends up killing Ellie Fanning's character, along with 2 other models that have been in the business for a while. And they end up bathing in her blood and eating parts of her to try and retain her beauty, or ingest and absorb her beauty, because she was becoming so popular and so famous so quickly. And this reminded me of a true life person named the Blood Countess. She was a countess in France. Countess, there's a siren going on. Police, I guess. Anyway, she was a Countess Elizabeth in France in about 1640-ish era. And she killed like 400 women. But she would torture them. I mean, it was horrendous, the stuff that she did to these girls. But near the end, she started bathing in their blood. She didn't eat them, but she did bathe in their blood, thinking that that would keep her young and beautiful by bathing in their blood. And they did the same thing in this movie. It reminded me, as soon as I saw that bathing scene, I was like, oh, that's the Countess. I don't know if they were going for that, but that's the real life person that has done that for that reason. Also reminded me of some other serial killers like Jeffrey Dahmer and others that have ingested or have done cannibalism. Is because they're trying to absorb the essence of that person or become closer to them. Some of the ancient civilizations used to eat the hearts of animals or humans to gain the essence and the power of that person or beast. And so I saw a lot of that in the last part of this. But it wasn't shocking for me. I know there were a lot of people that were shocked seeing it. I think for me, I've seen a lot of movies and I love history. And so a lot of that it came out. I was like, oh, well, that's cool. That's a cool ending. I like that. I like what they did there. But the entire movie felt like a long episode, a very artistically directed, beautifully directed, but long episode of Tales from the Crypt. You could have cut a good half an hour or so out of there, made it a lot tighter, and it would have been a short story. It felt like a short story that was pulled out and stretched too long. So I would suggest watching Drive. I think is a much better movie than The Neon Demon. However, The Neon Demon's not a bad movie. It's still a good movie. It's just you have to understand the pacing's going to be very slow, and you're not going to care about some of the characters as much as you did with Drive. But I think to watch it for the directing and the lighting and get the experience of how masterfully it was crafted for the technicalities, I say go watch the movie. But for story-wise, I think it could have been shorter. But that's my opinion. And hey, I started an Instagram account. So I've got that. I only got one picture on there right now, but I have a link to it on my banner for the channel, and I'll have a link for it in the description below. You can also support me on Patreon, and I have a mailbox. You can mail me stuff, and we'll do unboxings and things like that for whatever you guys send me. But comment below and let me know what you thought of the movie. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you on the next video.